Getting ready for college should be an exciting time of your life. Most students look forward to going to parties, making new friends, and gaining a new sense of freedom during their college experience. And that's easy for students to do when they feel supported by the university. However, if they don't, students may become disengaged and isolated. This is the experience of African American students currently attending the University of Washington, Madison. Throughout its history, Madison has struggled to successfully cultivate an environment that supports the needs of its diverse student body. The university lacks educational programs and resources for Black students and faculty who've continued to experience incidents of hate and bias from their white counterparts. Madison representatives have given several statements citing progressive steps the institution intends to take. However, most of the significant efforts made by the university took place after the Black student strike of 1966. At the time of the strike, only 90 of the 30,000 students enrolled at the university were Black. Most were shocked that a major university would have such a small Black population, but their deep desire for community led them to create the Concerned Black Council as a safe space for Black students to bond and discuss issues they were facing. Wahid and Liberty Rashad, two members of the council, met with the university on several occasions to discuss their grievances, and each time the university agreed to comply with the students' request but failed to fulfill their promises.
In 1968, we had the Proctor Committee, where Liberty and I, we stayed Thanksgiving, and we spoke to the proctor was a Black administrator that was brought in to keep us down, to keep us calm. But he was an ally of us, and there was 4 faculty members. So there was basically 5 of them and just 2 of us. But they conceded and they wrote it up and submitted it to the faculty, but it was the Board of Regents that the university felt a lot of pressure that was pressuring them to hold it down. But every time we went to the university, they conceded to the demands, but then they reneged.
Madison's refusal to address their concerns signaled to the students that they would need to force the university to make the necessary changes. In February of 1969, Harvey Clay, alongside the CBC, led and organized a campus-wide strike and planned to continue until the university fulfilled the council's list of 13 demands. Among these were the demand that the university create a program to bring 500 more Black students to campus, establish a Black Studies department, a Black Cultural Center, and Black dorm halls. Madison protesters also demanded that all 94 Black students expelled for UW Oshkosh protest a few months prior be pardoned and invited to enroll at UW-Madison. After a week of protests, the governor called in 900 National Guardsmen, who were joined by another 1,000 2 days later. In response, the number of protesters grew from 1,500 to over 5,000, and they began blocking off traffic in major roads around the city. Black students and their white allies linked arms to block people from entering major campus buildings. Peaceful protesters were met with tear gas, and many were arrested and jailed. After 3 weeks, students were compelled to end the protest as the number of students dwindled. In the wake of the protest, Madison agreed to comply with 3 of the students' demands and created a Department of African American Studies, provided a space for a Black Cultural Center, and reaffirmed its commitment to increasing Black enrollment. Unfortunately, several Black strike participants got their scholarships revoked, and none of the 94 Oshkosh students were allowed to re-enroll. Despite their sacrifice, the CBC still considered this a victory, but successful implementation of these programs does not guarantee their efficacy. Little has changed for students on campus in the last 50 years. One of the original demands of the CBC was for the university to enroll at least 500 African American students the following semester, implying a total goal of 600 Black students. In fall of 2017, UW-Madison's Data Digest reported having only 631 Black undergraduates. While the 1969 demands seem to have been met, the university has made little significant progress since then. Black students who enroll can expect to deal with vandalism, microaggressions, and racial slurs on and off campus. Eric Fleming, a former student at the university, describes his experience. While talking to a group of friends in the dorm lounge, he was questioned on why he got into the college with a 3.6 GPA, while others they knew were denied with a 4.0.
Justifying my presence and deservedness was a weekly activity.
Incidences such as these are not exclusive to the campus and have sparked protests across the U.S.
Just a day after being called a racial slur over and over and over. In that video, now seen around the world, Kyla Spring led hundreds of students across campus.
Speak up! You can! Speak up! You can!
Then, she told her story.
My name is Kyla Spring. Say your name.
These stories undoubtedly shape the perception students have of the university. In the summer of 2020, a coalition of student activists called for Madison to meet 10 new demands, which included the reopening of a discussion about how the university could meet the demands that had still never been met from 1969. In the end, the university agreed to remove 2 statues with racist histories. It's clear that peaceful protests are deeply ingrained in the culture of UW-Madison and the Black community. Every generation of student activists have advanced the university, but students should understand that activism takes numerous forms. Students can be activists without jeopardizing their status as a student if the university elevates their voices and pays attention to them.
As Michelle Obama once said, when they go low, we go high.